and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Rachel and I like to do lettering art and play with a ton of art supplies. So if that's something that you like too, then stick around. So for today's project, if you enjoy the look of watercolor lettering but you aren't quite confident yet with your brush lettering skills and like writing with a paintbrush, then this project is for you. So all we're going to need is a water-based marker. So it could be anything from a Crayola, like a kid's Crayola marker, to something fancy like a Karin marker, some water, and a paintbrush. But we won't be using that paintbrush to do the actual letters. So let's go down to the table and we'll dive in and I'll show you what this is all about. Okay, so now we're at the table. I have a piece of watercolor paper. This is Canson's XL watercolor paper. I just cut it down to size for the sake of this video. And I have a Karin marker, which is very reactive with water, but you could also do it with this Tombow like you saw at the beginning of the video right here. But I wanted to use this because it's a much darker color than that previous pink one. So I think it'll show the effect a lot more. So now I'm just going to write a word. You can use all caps, you can just use your regular handwriting, just as long as you kind of make it a little bold, like thicker strokes. So I'm gonna write the word fun because I find this to be very fun. And I'm just gonna write it in all caps, fun. So this is what it's gonna look like before. Nice, bold ink strokes, your run-of-the-mill marker look. And this is your before. All right, so now I'm just gonna get my brush. I have a number 2 round brush. As you can see, I find I have a lot more control using a number 2 round. Anywhere between a 1 and a number 2 round is totally fine. And I'm going to dip it in some water and I'm gonna get it pretty wet. Maybe not like big drops of water, but wet enough to activate the ink. And now you're gonna see that I'm just gonna take this water and push the pigment around. And it's already changing the texture, like the texturized look of the ink on the paper. And I'm just gonna keep pushing that ink around. You can make your strokes a little bit wider, or you can just trace directly. So it's already starting to change the overall look. So as you can see, not a huge difference, but definitely something's happening. And I already smeared it, so we are going to ignore that. And you can see how, and if you go outside the line, just like I did there, then just adjust the stroke, and I'm just making it worse. Oh my gosh, you can hear my phone going off. Actually, those are the iPads that I have hooked up to my Apple ID, so you hear that, you're gonna hear everything. All right, and we're gonna go to the last letter. We're gonna ignore these smudge strokes for the time being, for the sake of this video, since this is just a demonstration. Okay. So there you go. So you can leave it like that. You can definitely tell the difference. I will flash a picture of the before and the after. But if you like the look of the varying like intensities of the color in watercolor marker, watercolor lettering, then let's take it to the next step. Okay, so the next step is to bring along a tissue or paper towel, and we're gonna go back and we're going to wet these letters again. So I'm gonna go back and add some water maybe not make it as messy. Okay, and I'm just reactivating that ink again. And what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to take my tissue, this aside, take my tissue and take all the water off my brush. Then I'm gonna go back to my piece and I'm gonna use my very dry brush right now to suck up some of that water. And it's gonna take a while. It's a process. And in between gathering some of that water up, I'm gonna take it back to the napkin and dry it off some more. And I'm just getting the middle right there. And you can already see the varying intensity. Then I'm gonna take some of this and I'm just gonna allow it to bleed into the lighter area. And it's gonna give that effect of just those blends and bleeds of watercolor pieces. So I'm gonna do the same thing with the U. I'm gonna saturate it again with water, kind of activate all that ink again. Kind of take all that water. Then I'm going to dry my brush off and just take that dry brush and start sucking it off of one end, sucking all that water. And I'm gonna do it to the, and as you can see, as this is drying, you can kind of see all that little variation. If it's too harsh for you, you can go back with your damp brush and kind of, you know, even out those lines or smudge out those lines a little bit. And then go back to the N, saturate it, get that ink activated and flowing again. Don't know if this is a good angle, but I figured it was better than high up because then you could actually see what I'm doing. Okay, and just taking all the liquid off my brush. And I like to use the broader, the thicker strokes to remove all that excess ink from. Some over here. I'm just gonna smudge this a little bit, take some of that harshness out. And there you go. It's a nice kind of textured look, a lot different from what it looked like before. And it looks like watercolor. All right, and thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed that little tutorial. If there are any art supplies you'd like to see me try or any other techniques you would like to see me attempt or to show you, let me know in the description box below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell, and I will see you again next time. Bye.